In this episode, 24 hours around the green hell, Indy 500 qualifying, and could Lewis Hamilton leave Mercedes? Welcome to episode 219 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, over the past weekend, there was some racing. Not a lot. Some racing happened and some didn't happen. We'll come back to that, though.
I was going to say, there was a lot of hours of racing.
Yes. There was the Nurburgring 24H, which was a big event. And it was
one of the biggest ones of the year.
Yeah. It's sports cars around the Nurburgring for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Lots of cars. Over
variety of cars.
A lot of classes. I think 22 total classes this year.
Tons, yes.
Pretty crazy. On a 15-mile track. So, very cool event. But it started weird. Really weird.
It did start weird.
The U.S., specifically, North America and Canada, was supposed to be watching the race on a TV network that I had never heard of until this event.
Same.
And it's called Speed Sport 1.
Yeah. So, you and I and everybody that lives in North America were all quite peeved.
Yeah, I was watching the practices for this, the practice and qualifying for this event on YouTube, and that was all good. Like the ADAC, the people who run this event do a good job at streaming this event on YouTube.
Yeah,
and it's a very reliable, well done stream.
It's great, actually.
That they had contracted with Speed Sport 1, which is a company based in, from my understanding,
North Carolina, I think. South Carolina, North Carolina, something like that.
I think that's what it was. To stream this to the North American audience. And apparently they dropped the ball really majorly, because during the start of the race, they were just playing Formula 4 at
something
Imola?
like that, yeah.
Or F3
like an
at
old
Imola?
rerun of Formula 4 at Imola.
Yeah. And all the social media platforms and Reddit and Discords that I'm in, they were all kind of losing their mind going, why can't North America see this race? Because the YouTube aspect of this race was geo-blocked. So if you were in North America, you had to be either VPN to a different country, or you had to find a pirated stream or something like that to be able to watch the start of this race. Luckily, I did some digging, sent you some links, and you were able to see.
God bless Reddit motorsports streams too.
Yeah, they're good at what they do. But this company, Speed Sport 1, really dropped the ball. And John Hindhaugh, the guy who does the broadcast for Radio Le Mans, came on the broadcast about 25 minutes into the race.
Yeah, I was going to say about a half hour in. Yeah.
And he came in quite hot. He wasn't on the mics at that point. He wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And he came in and just said, to clarify, all of the YouTube geo-blocking stuff has been taken off. The team over at Speed Sport 1 has kind of botched the broadcast for everyone in North America. We're sorry about it. It's nothing on the ADAC, nothing on the Nurburgring 24. It was on Speed Sport's end. You're good to watch it. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, I did. I was listening at that point because I couldn't watch it. And at that point, I was like, wait a minute now.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, this is a really bad look for Speed Sport 1.
Yeah, no, it was very bad.
Which sucks because I love the idea of Speed Sport 1.
Right, when I've gone to the website, when I did, I was like, oh, this is basically what old Speed TV was.
Yeah.
Where they just broadcast a whole bunch of races from a bunch of variety of stuff. You can see NASCAR, superbikes, rally, everything. You
want Aussie V8 supercars. Do you want SRO GT America? Do you want boat racing? Do you want four-wheelers? What do you want? And that was what Speed Vision or Speed TV used to be.
Right, which is super cool. Now, is any of the people or the association associated with Speed TV?
So it seems like when Speed Sport 1 kind of got together and started trying to launch this whole thing, apparently Speed Sport 1 is part of some sort of motorsports media conglomerate that's been around for 50 years or something like that. They've got a lot of people that have backgrounds, or I guess, the development team at Speed Sports 1 have backgrounds from ESPN, Speed Vision, Speed Channel, FS1, Fox Sports 1, NASCAR, MTV, Disney, Maverick TV, and that's where their development team and higher ups all came from.
It sounds great from a motorsports enthusiast perspective, but they kind of botched it up, so they're not off to a good start.
Yeah, what Speed Sport 1 just did this past weekend is they have absolutely pissed off a ton of sports car racing fans.
Yeah.
That now are probably never going to want anything to do with them because of how big of a cock-up this was.
You're supposed to come out hitting well. They came out striking out.
Yeah.
It's not.
Again, it's I love the concept of it.
Right.
Because it reminds me of growing up just putting Speed TV on and just watching whatever racing was on because it was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of our website, actually.
Yeah, very much so. Because
you can go watch these series if you totally want to.
Yeah, you want to watch 24H? You want to watch Ferrari Challenge? How about some Lamborghini Super Trofeo? You want to watch some GT4?
IMSA?
Oh, there we go.
You want 2021, 2022, 2023? Let's go to 2022 and view the whole season, you know?
That's an idea.
Any race, you could watch it.
Like yeah.
Anyway, back to the Nurburgring 24, because this race did happen, and even though the shenanigans happened at the beginning with the broadcast and the rights and all that stuff, we had a race. We had a good race.
We had a hell of a race.
Yes.
I did get to watch a bit of it between students, and then when I got home, and the Nurburgring 24 is one race that I really, really, really want to go to.
Yeah. I will say, going to it looks like you're going to be in the German forest with just EDM, like, German pumping music.
I think there's only 2 camps there. You have German, like, house music, but then you have German metal, like Rammstein.
Yeah, you have that too.
Du hast.
But that's about it.
Du hast
There's nothing
mich.
between that.
Yes.
And then every person there has 10 beers in their hand, and that's just how you
I
do it.
loved it when the camera would pan to the crowd, and you'd see the dudes that are just passed out, half dead. And I'm like, what a time.
The campsites were full on Monday of practice.
It is, I think it's borderline a national holiday in Germany.
I think that this event happened to fall on a national holiday, which is kind of funny.
It did happen to fall on a bank holiday, but if you live in Germany, I think this is a religion.
I think so too. It's this in Le Mans that you kind of have to go to.
So, what American race closely resembles the N24?
Sebring.
100. I was
Sebring.
hoping you were going to say that.
It's Sebring.
Because it's definitely Sebring. Because what do you see in the infield at Sebring?
Yeah,
you
same
see
thing.
a redneck version of what you see at the Nurburgring.
Exactly.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yep. No, super cool race. As far as the racing went itself and the cars on track, Porsche got the BOP hammer yet again. They seem to be unlucky with their new 992 car.
Yeah.
They got the BOP hammer, I think, like the practice before the qualifying, the final practice before qualifying.
Yep.
That was unfortunate for them. In the race itself, there was a lot of action in the top class, which is the SP9 class.
Mm-hmm.
And the manufacturers coming into this race were Audi, as far as the SP9 class goes, Audi, Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, Ferrari, and Lamborghini. 4 of the 6 are German brands. This is the German racetrack. This is basically the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl. It's that for these manufacturers.
Yeah.
This is the biggest race of the year for these German manufacturers, by far. It was interesting to see them all bring their top-class cars as best the drivers they could and do the best they could. Porsche had a rough time at it. It seemed like Audi had a somewhat rough time at it. Mercedes and BMW did look strong. In my eye, they looked very strong. But the car to take the win was not a German brand at all, which was kind of wild.
You're right. It was not a German brand.
No, it was actually Ferrari that took the win.
It was Ferrari that took the win.
In a frikadelli Ferrari. This one we're looking at here, which is wild.
Yeah, it is really wild. And it was in the frikadelli racing Ferrari, which is the first year they're going to a Ferrari, which has ties to Sabine Schmitz.
Did they used to be a Porsche?
BMWs, it looks like.
Oh, they were BMWs.
Maybe. Well, let's see.
I don't remember.
I'm
off
going
the top
back
of
through
my
I don't know about all that.
That's fine. Regardless, there was another car that was in this race. We'll come back to the Fricadelli Porsche in a moment, which there's a whole bunch of different classes and a bunch of different cars. And there was a really cool scenario that played out where there is a Dacia Logan that usually races this race.
The Dacia!
It is immensely the slowest car on the racetrack.
By a humongous margin.
The whole point of this car and this team is just to finish the race. That's all they're there to do.
Yeah, survive.
They have no chance at winning, not even the class they're in. They don't care about winning. They're just there to finish the race. They're a crowd favorite. And they were in a situation where their main sponsor on the car dropped out like a week prior to race start, which is not good for them.
That's sad.
They're a small team on a tight budget. And the marshals themselves, all the people that do the flagging, that hold out the yellow flags and wave the green flags, they all pitched in, and they were able to buy the fuel money, or pitch in for fuel money for this car so they could race. So that's how much of a crowd favorite this thing is.
You know what? Round of applause for them.
Yes.
Realistically, that is the brotherhood of motorsports coming together to help a friend in need.
That is super cool. Super, super cool. I remember about three-quarters of the way through the first lap, this car is getting overtaken by SB9 cars.
It doesn't even finish a lap before it's overtaken.
It's insane.
It's lapped within a lap.
And going down the long straight, the Dodingerhohe,
Yeah.
it was probably 100 miles an hour down on those SB9
Maybe
cars.
cresting a 101 on the downhill?
Yeah. It was insane. and while the SB9 cars are coming back 180, 190 past him.
Whoa!
Yeah. Major speed difference. And unfortunately, with that speed difference, you can get into a situation in the middle of the night where your Dacia gets smashed by an SB9 car.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it was coming through a really fast section, and an SB9 Porsche just annihilated the back of this car.
Oh, no.
And totaled it for good this time.
No.
Yeah, the Dacia is done, but the team is in good spirits and is trying to find another car to run next year.
I love this car.
I do too.
I love it so much. Oh, do you see on the wing? Okay, a couple things. On the wing, do you see what it says?
It's something Marshalls.
Danke.
Danke? What does that mean?
Thank you.
Thank you, Marshalls.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Danke Marshalls, and then they're all signed.
Yeah.
God, I love that. That is such a heartwarming story to see that they were able to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it did not finish. They were back on the flatbed. But super cool to see this kind of car race alongside spec GT3 top-class manufacturer cars.
That you see in IMSA.
You would never see that anywhere else. This is the only race you would ever see that.
It'd be like taking my Volkswagen to the 12 Hours of Sebring.
Yes.
And just finish.
Yep.
Just don't die, just finish.
Don't die while prototypes are whipping past you at like 80 to 100 mile an hour speed differential. It's crazy. Yeah. Super cool. The race overall was very entertaining to watch. I will say one of the a BMW was chasing down the Ferrari near the end of the race.
Yeah, it was the Rover Racing.
Yeah, that was cool to see. It was not a sure bet that they were going to win the race, the Fricadelli Ferrari, but I think that they did have 50 to almost a minute in hand by the end of the race. So,
if I recall correctly, at the last pit stop where Rover Racing, the BMW, came in, they gave him a full fuel load, whereas the Fricadelli Ferrari was still on a touch of fuel save. Mm-hmm. So I guess it was just two strategies. Are you going to go balls to the walls, or are you going to do a little bit of lifting and coasting?
Yep. I will say the Fricadelli Ferrari did have a relatively incident-free race. They only had one incident with a flat tire going down at the very end of the lap, on like lap 6 or 7 of the race, which was not at all bad.
If you're gonna have a flat tire, that's a great place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're not limping back 10 miles.
Right. And I will say, this track, if you do go back and you lose like 2 minutes, you're basically out of the race.
It's such a long lap.
Yep. And there's not safety cars like there are in IMSA and other series to pack everybody back up.
It's such a long circuit. You can't get a safety car.
No. You have the Code 60s that can play good for you. Sometimes they'll be good. Sometimes they won't, depending on how they fall. But yeah, this race is something else, man. Just watching these cars rip through at night is something else.
It's such a thing. I loved watching the onboards at night.
Yeah.
When you get a GT3, like maybe you get the Frickadelli Ferrari, and they're absolutely screaming through the forest at night. There's not a light anywhere. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, poof, you get this old Opel Manta right in front of them. And, oh my God, moving chicane, go around.
I was watching it was cool this year because I had run the race this past weekend, or previous weekend, on iRacing at least, in the sim. And it was neat to know the track layout and then be able to watch them manipulate the traffic. So surprisingly, they would slow down a lot more than I thought when they would come behind this Opel.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And sometimes they would just be stuck behind them. There's nothing they can do. If it's a high-speed, twisty bit, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
And they just have to sit behind him and eat the time.
Just deal with it.
Right, which was neat to see. But, yeah, when they get the chance, man, they are aggressive. They are aggressive through traffic.
Oh, my God. Just slicing and dicing. Mm-hmm. What a freaking race this is.
Fun to watch.
Let me give you a quick little top three. First place we talked about, that was the Frickadelli racing team. That was the Ferrari. Earl Bamber, Kuala Lumpur, Nicky Katzberg, that team. Felipe Lazar, that's right. Let's see. Then second place, you had the Rover Racing. That did have Sheldon Vanderland. You had, let's see, Marco Wittmann. Oh, Dries Vanthoor, that's right. He was in that BMW. Yep. Maxime Martin. Third place, you did have the Team Bilstein Mercedes. Wasn't that the yellow one with the hand-painted livery?
Yes, it was.
That was a cool livery. Hand-painted. That had Raffaele Marcello, Luca Stolz, and Philip Ellis. Luca Stolz was wheeling the shit out of that car. Mm-hmm. God damn. To watch him deal with traffic.
Yeah, I loved watching this race. I hope that next year Speed Sport 1 can get their stuff figured out and we'll get a good American broadcast as well. But I'm not opposed to just the YouTube straight-up live stream because it was fantastic.
The YouTube stream is great.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. So that was the Nurburgring 24. Let's talk about some... what was it? Was there IndyCar that happened this past week?
Indy qualifying.
Yes.
There was Indy qualifying that happened this past week for the Indy 500.
Indy qualifying was kind of interesting. I don't think... Did you get to see a lot of it?
I didn't see a lot of it, but I did see a crash.
Yes, there was a crash that happened, I think it was today. It might have been today or yesterday since we're recording. On Monday. There was a crash between two cars.
Yeah, Catherine Legg and Sheehan, Steve, something like that.
Stephen Wilson.
That's who it was, yeah.
Yes. Stephen Wilson did get his back injured. He is out of the Indy 500.
Yeah, I think there are some pictures on like page 3 or something like this of that crash. But I just quickly want to chat. Staggering speeds.
Yeah, it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with Indy cars on it.
I always forget how fast they are until it comes around every year.
It's 240 plus miles an hour into
235. I mean,
that's your average lap time. So you're doing 242, 43, 44 into corners.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It's bonkers how fast they are. Honestly, I have no idea how more drivers don't die in this race. No idea.
That is just immense speed.
The amount of energy that you have in a vehicle moving that fast is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Just wild.
Qualifying itself was interesting, mainly because Graham Rahal, who is a full-time driver, did get bumped out in bump day.
Ooh.
Yeah, he got the boot from the event. There were enough teams to have one car get bumped out on bump day. There weren't initially going to be enough teams, but I think 2 new teams stepped up and said, we'll run only this race. And that's what made Graham Rahal get bumped out.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, the crash that happened with Stephen Wilson's car, the car is okay, the driver is not, so Graham Rahal is now taking over his car.
Is he?
Yeah. So Graham is back in the race, not in the way you want to be, but at least he is racing.
Yeah, he
Now,
is racing.
He is going from, I think, a Chevy to a Honda. It could be the other way around. He's changing manufacturers.
Going from a Honda to a Chevy.
Okay. He's changing manufacturers. He's jumping on the other team, which is also kind of odd.
Yeah, it's really weird. What secrets are you going to bring back?
I don't know.
Some trade secrets.
At this point, these are spec cars, so I don't know how many trade secrets there are. It would only be between the two manufacturers anyway, and like the paddock's pretty small.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how many trade secrets there really are.
Fair.
Overall, watching Bump Day was cool. Watching practice, kind of boring. The race will be entertaining.
It will be.
Yes.
It will be. Real quick, let me give you your top 3 starting lineup here.
Which is the first row of the grid. They do 3x3.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
So 3x3. So first row, you've got in first place qualified P1 Alex Palou with an average MPH of 234.2. Wow, they're all like 234s.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Second place, Rinus VK. And then third place, Felix Rosenquist. Those are your top 3.
Yep. Should be a good race. It's definitely a positional race. Draft to get to your position, kind of do some fuel saving, wait until the last 10-ish laps, and then it's an all-out try not to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty wild.
It's going to be exciting to watch.
Yep. So there was also another race that was supposed to happen and got canceled. And the last time an event at this series has been canceled like this was due to COVID. And this was Formula One.
Yeah.
At Imola.
Because it would have been the Grand Prix of boats.
As you can see from this image, there was severe flooding that happened at the racetrack. So severe that they actually canceled the race.
It's rare to get a full cancellation.
I cannot believe F1 did it. It was the right thing to do, but I cannot believe they did it.
Agreed. I'm with you. It was a good call because looking at the picture, that semi has got water up to the top of its wheels.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the semi. I'm worried about all the generators, other equipment that's around.
That just shows the depth of water, is what I'm saying.
It was wild. They just had crazy flooding from rain in the area. The river happens to go right next to the racetrack, and it was just overflowing into the racetrack. Like I said, it was the right call, but man, they threw away a lot of money to cancel that race.
Yeah, I did see some of the drivers were actually helping with the cleanup, like Yuki Tsunoda and all that. I like that. That
was super cool as well. Yeah. Unfortunate to see. Don't know if it will be replaced on the calendar. Honestly, I don't really think so.
I doubt it.
I don't see a good way to fit it into the calendar.
I don't know where they would put it.
I don't know either. It's already a pretty packed calendar as it is. So we'll see what happens. Next year, Ferrari's home track. Hopefully they run.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we have one more F1 related thing, which is some rumor mill going on that Mr. Lewis Hamilton has been offered 40 million euros.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
To leave Mercedes and go to Ferrari.
That's a lot of money.
Do you ever, if I told you 2 years ago, Lewis Hamilton won't be winning races and he'll be trying to go to Ferrari, how crazy would you think that is? Yeah.
I would have called a doctor.
Exactly. This could happen. I honestly kind of think he should do it.
I think he will.
I think he might.
Because what was the lady that it was like his like right-hand servant?
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
I think it was Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's gone.
She's gone.
Like everyone around him is just like falling to pieces.
And he's not doing terribly. He's not doing as well as his teammate, which is kind of odd to say. Like he is the worst driver in the team now.
He is the number 2 driver.
He is the number 2 driver. Yeah, at least that's how it feels like. I don't know.
So he would be replacing Sainz?
That's the question. Who does he replace at Ferrari? Because Sainz has done relatively well. I think he's higher in the driver's standings
I'll tell
right
you.
now.
Give me just a second.
Isn't he? So, where in Ferrari would Mr. Lewis Hamilton fit in? Does he go full Daniel Ricciardo and just sit on the sideline and be the test guy?
Carlos Sainz is above Charles Leclerc in the point standings.
Is Lewis Hamilton above his teammate?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Hamilton is got 56 points. Sainz has 44 points. Russell has 40 points.
Ooh.
Leclerc has 34 points.
I don't know, man. I don't think that he's up to his standards right now. Right? He's Mr. Lewis Hamilton. If he's not winning races, he's not happy. But that's to be fair. Like, he did win championships in a row, and he knows what it tastes like to win that in F1, to be the current Max Verstappen. I don't know. Would you take it? Is the Ferrari a better car than the Mercedes right now?
I mean, according to the point standings, no.
Yeah, but according to your eyes,
yes,
I think it is. Will it be like that forever? I think if they sort out the side pods and go back to normal side pods, the Mercedes might be the second fastest car on the grid. I have no idea. Will it beat the Red Bull? No.
Nothing will beat the Red
Will
Bull.
the Ferrari beat the Red Bull? No.
The only way you can beat Red Bull is if NASA steps in, or SpaceX.
Yeah. So I think can he go from the team that is fighting for a third place to another team that is fighting for a third place? Like, why move? You know?
Watch Lance Stroll Sr. get rid of his own son for Alonso and Hamilton. Watch that be the move.
That'd be awesome.
That would be.
There's no way he takes it.
Legendary thing in the world.
That'd
Because
be awesome.
right now the Aston is the better of the Mercedes. Because it does use
right.
Mercedes power plant and all that.
Yep, you're right about that.
You know.
The rumor mill is that he got an offer by Ferrari. So we'll see where that goes. Could be interesting.
We're gonna find out.
Yep.
So that does lead us to what's coming up this weekend. This weekend, you've got the Indy 500. That is exciting open wheel stuff. You do have a kind of legendary historic race for F1. Monaco is this weekend.
Yep.
And then you also have arguably one of our other favorite race series, DTM.
Heck yeah.
DTM is racing their round one this weekend.
Do you know where it happens to be?
I'm
going to try to find it here.
I will tell you. Give me just a second. It's going to be somewhere. Not here.
They're in Motorsports Arena Osterschleben.
Oh, Osterschleben.
Yeah, I think that iRacing just got that racetrack. It
looks like a cool track, actually.
Yes. But they're running GT3 cars, if I recall, right?
Yep. They went to the GT3 Switch. Was it last year or the year prior?
Don't remember.
Either 1 or 2 years ago.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, so that's it. That's all I got for episode 219. You got anything else?
Nope.
It's going to wrap us up. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment. Let us know. What do you think about this whole Hamilton debacle? You think he should move to Ferrari? Think he's going to stay at Mercedes? Let's find out. If you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.